John, welcome to FrightFest. You are here with your feature film Taibhse, which has just screened on the Odeon Leicester Square cinema. How did the screening go?
Yeah, it went really well. I'm really happy with how it went, and just super proud to have an Irish language film play at such a prestigious venue.
And obviously we've discussed this film before, and I was certain it was going to look just incredible on screen. There's so much use of shadow and silhouette. How was it seeing it projected in that environment?
Yeah, it was amazing, like a surreal experience. I'm used to seeing it in my bedroom when I'm editing it, so to finally see it in a venue like this is amazing. And not even just like how it looked, like the sound itself with the massive speakers, Dolby Atmos, amazing. So yeah, really happy, and with how it went.
And how long did this film take to come to be? Was it a long process? Was it a short process? Because sometimes these films can take years, and other times they just immediately happen.
Yeah. So the idea originated back during lockdown, and then I began working on the script, and then it was about 2021 when I decided, let's make a little short film version of it. And then we shot that in November 2021, and then went ahead in the following year and then shot the feature. And it's been a long process of post-production because with limited budget crew, I had to learn a lot of it, the process, while I was doing it. For example, color grading on DaVinci Resolve and creating deliverables and visual effects. So yeah, it was a long process, but it was rewarding, and we all enjoyed it, and yeah, it's great. Couldn't have done it without the amazing cast and crew. For such a small budget or small crew, having such a helpful, supportive, talented crew just made all the difference. So.
And for the project, you wrote, you directed, you produced, edited. Are there any of these? Is it something that you want to do going forward? Do you want to continue working that hands-on, or do you maybe want to take a step back and just focus on one or two aspects?
Yeah, no, see when you're producing and first ADing and making sure everyone has their lunch on time, everyone gets a set on time, making sure an actor's coming in tomorrow, what time do they come in at, when do they leave, how will they get there, is the bus times working? So you have that all in the back of your head while you're trying to direct, and then that's it's a bit of a challenge. So yeah, hopefully in the future I can just worry about the directing and that part instead of all the other things. But it's good to learn, and I'm not complaining. It was really fun, the whole process. So yeah.
And what's the future for Taibhse? Where can people find this film? There are going to be more screenings. Is there any release news yet?
Yeah, so we're currently on doing a festival run now for the next few months, but I can't confirm anyone's just yet. We haven't been given the go ahead, but it'll be all over the world: Iceland, America, Spain, Italy, some more in Ireland, England. So yeah, there's a few more, but if you check up on the website or the Jackpot Films social media or any of the cast and crew social media, we'll keep you updated.
No, so go and enjoy the rest of the festival. So Tony, welcome to FrightFest. You're here with Taibhse, which has just screened at the Odeon Leicester Square. How did the screening go, and what was the initial reaction to the film from the audience?
We got great reaction. It went really well. I think they got frightened in the right places. There was a few laughs. They got them in the right places. So yeah, I think it went across very well. A nice crew.
And what was it about this film that made you keen to get involved with it?
Well, initially it was learning the Irish language, because I kind of grew up not speaking Irish. I went to school and we learned it in school, but I wasn't really fluent or anything in it. And John mentioned, would I be interested in doing it, and what's my Irish like? And I said it's okay, it's okay. So I had to do a lot of work on that. So that was the reason I wanted to do it, was because I wanted to work on the language, and it was a good excuse to be able to speak it. So it's my national language, and I couldn't even speak it. So it was important for me to do it that way. So that was the main reason for getting involved. But also working with John. John's an amazing director, amazing writer, just an amazing person. So if you get opportunities to work with people like that, both hands. Yeah.
And I mean, that's the thing about this film, is that it is, it's one of the first, or the very first, Irish language horror film. There's so many Irish horror, directors and films that are doing so well. You've got Corin Hardy and Lee Cronin. Why do you think it's taken so long for somebody to go, no, hang on a minute, let's be scary in our native tongue?
I can't answer that question. I don't know why it hasn't happened earlier, but I think it will happen again. I think we've done something here now that needed to be done, and we've put it there in probably the place. And I think it's a great result. It's a great film, and I think it's going to happen again. The likes of Lee Cronin, another really, really good guy, and Lee. I'm sure Lee is kicking himself that he didn't actually do this himself, to be honest, because I know Lee, and I know he would have loved to have done that. So I don't know why it didn't happen earlier, but it's happening now. It's like with Kneecap as well. They're the same. They're kind of hitting it at a different angle, And I think it's important. I think there's a bit of a wake-up call coming in Ireland that we want to get back to speaking our native language, and it's important to do that.
100%. And I also think that maybe audiences are a little bit more open to watching something that's subtitled as well now. I mean, I have a 5-year-old, so everything I watch has subtitles, whether it's English or not. So, I think that audiences are, ready to accept sitting and sort of reading a film at the same time.
It's like watching a French or Italian or German movie. It gives it that bit of gravitas when you're seeing the subtitles and you're going, okay. And then you have to invest a lot more in a film when you have to read the subtitles, I think, because you're reading and you're also trying to watch as well, so you're more involved in the film. So it's a good thing.
I'm going to let you go and enjoy the rest of your festival. Thank you so much. Thank you. But Tom, welcome to FrightFest. You're here with Taibhse, which has just had its international screening at London FrightFest. What's the initial reaction been from the audience?
Yeah, straight away when you hear quiet, you know that the people are engaged with the movie. So for me, that was testimony that the film actually touched people and they had an emotional experience. And then a round of applause after just shows that all the hard work, that they got it. And I'm extremely happy. First ever Irish language horror movie premiering here in London, with all our checkered history and all that. It's an absolutely phenomenal day. It's a great day, Taibhse, my heart is dancing.
And prior to this, how good was your Irish? Because I was talking to Livvy and she didn't speak anything before this.
No, she didn't, and she actually is phenomenal for the simple reason that she took on a whole new language, for her. For me, we would have learnt Irish in school. I come from County Clare, which is a little more culturally Irish, we'll say like that. So there's parts where the Gaeltacht, which is the Irish-speaking area, and I would have had an affinity for Irish, growing up with tin whistle in my mouth, Irish dancing, so it's just culturally was part of me and stuff like that. But after school, it's kind of the way we learn it is for school and it's exam based and stuff. So it's not really, it's not something that's kind of spoken every day. But now it's got cool again, and so it's a little easier. But not to take anything away from the language, but I did have to learn Ulster Irish, which is a totally different dialect for me. I would come from Munster, so we have our own dialect of Irish. So there's a few words that were what, but really enjoyed it. Yeah.
And obviously the film's gone down. It's gone down really well. I saw queues of people waiting for autographs after. Are you hoping that this film now opens the door and proves to studios that Irish language films there is an appetite and an interest for them?
Yeah, I honestly do think that it's potentially the start of a new genre for Irish film in the language. Using horror again, there's been a lot of dark sort of days in the history of Ireland and stuff like that, and as a metaphor, horror can kind of allow you to sort of take sort of touchy subjects and use it in that sort of genre to sort of to heal the past or to heal certain things like that, but I do think that the Irish language, after Colleen Kuhn, that opened the door with its Oscar nominations, now a very different film. So yeah, and why not? I love watching Cantonese movies, Mandarin movies, Scandinavian language movies, Spanish, Italian, you name it, so film shouldn't sort of like be just English spoken, or not that there's anything wrong with English or anything like that, but I do think that every country and every nation has its own culture, its own storytelling, and yeah, there's a platform for it now, and not to be afraid if it's any language, so, and horror can work anywhere. Yeah.
Exactly. And what do you hope the future of this film is? How do you see this going? Post festivals.
Yeah, it would be great to sort of like see sort of worldwide distribution. Because again, like the language shouldn't sort of like put people off. The film, the story, the sort of like the themes that are sort of introspected in the film, they're important. They have a global appeal, and I think it's strong enough to sort of have like anyone from sort of like Japan to sort of watch this, or to Lapland, or Finland, so anywhere. I think it should. Why not? I'd be happy with that.
I'm sure it's going to go far and do really well. Thank you so much for your time. So, Livvy, welcome to FrightFest. You're here with Taibhse, which is just screened on the main screen. What was the initial reaction from the audience to the film?
The initial reaction here, I think it was very positive. We heard a lot of laughs in the right place, a lot of screams, jump scares getting people. But I think after the film finished, everyone's reaction is just the same, where they really felt that tension. I'm really glad that they felt that, because that's what we were trying to, go for the whole time, and that deeper message. And I'm just really happy that it landed. Yeah.
And the film is, it's told in the Irish language. How good was your Irish before you started this?
I didn't speak Irish at all, so it was difficult when John first came to me and said that it was going to be in Irish. It did make me go ooh just a little bit, because I know it's got such a rich and important history. So I didn't want to botch it at all. So I took my time, and I really analysed every word, broke it down, made sure that I was pronouncing everything right and knew my lines, so that when this film comes out, I was doing the Irish language justice. And I've learned so much about the language since doing this, and through all these friends and amazing actors and creatives that I've worked with, that I feel really proud that I get to be here, as someone that's not an Irish speaker, but they're accepting me and letting me learn this language and be part of it all. I just feel very privileged and very excited.
And more is it, she's such a fascinating character. I know you've worked with John before, but what was it about this character that stood out as somebody that you wanted to play?
Well, John cast me because I told him I wanted a challenge, and I didn't know it would be this much of a challenge. I think this character, I just wanted to play someone that I had to think a lot more about. As an actor, you really want to get into the headspace of a character. Short films are great, but sometimes there's only so much you can really do with a character. But the idea of, especially with the language as well, like getting to delve into the character that way, and really feeling like when I was acting, I was Moira. And just acting around Tom as well, like I think that's what hooked me as well. I'd worked with Tom on a couple shorts, and he's just a phenomenal actor. So any chance I get a time to work with an amazing actor, I'll take it. So yeah, it was pretty much just the cast and crew that really drew me, and then reading it, learning the lines. It was almost sort of difficult to fully understand who Moira was going to be at the start because of that language barrier. So it was only when I was in the moment acting that I really felt who she was, and that was nice to be able to get that come through as you're doing it in real time. So I think that's what I liked, that I could separate myself from her.
And I guess having that previous relationship with Tom, given the nature of some of the scenes together, did that help, having that sort of relationship and prior trust already there?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I think we both think highly of each other as actors, and it's Tom's so lovely when he speaks about me. I don't deserve it, but just having that understanding that we both both loved acting and we both cared about the roles and learning the lines and doing a good job. And he would put his all into it, and I would have to match that. So I love that about working with Tom, that we both just knew that we were going to go for it. There was no messing about. When John told us what he wanted, we were going to deliver it as best as we could, and that's what was great.
Well, I wish you best of luck with the future screenings of the film. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.